Hi everyone, I'm just going to quickly add the comment so that I can pin it. Yeah. Then add, hi, hello everyone, welcome at equality_Armenia. Hi everyone, welcome. I am going to pin that comment. Okay, perfect. Hi everyone, welcome. Let me just set my phone up. I was just writing so that I can. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Had to add my comment so that we can pin it. Hi everyone. Hello. Thank you everyone. Hi, thanks. I got my necklace from Otto the Rat. I think they still have it. I'm not sure. Girl. Okay. We're set up. Hi everyone. Welcome. We are talking with Andy Kanaraki today. I'm sure you guys have seen the flyers. Hello to all 200 of you. Hi, hello, what's up? How cute do you look? Oh, stop it. Thanks, you guys. I know, listen, I'm really scared of this whole Gen Z situation, so I had to do the middle part. Okay, I was gonna do a side part, and then I was like, no, I don't think so. They're gonna like come after me. I love your brows. Really? Girl, I haven't gotten them done in I don't know how long. You know what? They're starting to grow on me, literally. Thank you. I'm just waiting for Andy to come on in. And we're gonna have like a discussion about everything, comedy, LGBTQ, just a bunch of great things. And we're gonna have lots of fun. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. You look Spanish beautiful. Thank you. I still have your autograph with the lipstick mark from Big Bad Armos. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Was that in New York? I think that was in New York. Well, Andy is here. Let's get Andy in here. Thank you. Let's wait for Andy. And my comments pinned. Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I am good. I have my red wine because it feels like a red wine kind of night.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing good. You look amazing, by the way.
Thanks. I'm like throwing an eyeliner lipstick, and we're good. Just heading out. Real quick before we get into it, I want to explain to people my pinned comment.
Yes.
We are having this talk, but also a little bit of a fundraiser as well. If you want to support the Armenian LGBTQ community, we have Pink Armenia that I have tagged. You can go on their page and click the link in their bio, and you can support them. They are an LGBTQ group in Armenia. I've also tagged Equality Armenia, which is based in America, but also works with Pink Armenia in Armenia. And you can also click on their bio and you can donate if you wish to donate. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Racing. So how you been?
I'm good. I am good. Surviving COVID, which is fun. I'm sick of surviving COVID. That doesn't mean I want to die, but that just like I'm over it. Like, can we go to the wedding? I'll seriously get married just to have an Armenian wedding so I can.
I know, right? And you know what? Like every time like I post anything COVID related, and I know you do this as well because we're like serious about this, I get people like being like, I'm so sick of it, I'm gonna like do what I want or whatever. But it's like, well, what about the people that have been doing what they're supposed to be doing this whole time? We are absolutely fucking sick of it. Like, I am so done. Like, and this week especially, something is just, I cannot wait until, like, I think in July they were saying where the vaccines would be for everybody.
I hope.
That's what I'm hearing. But I also saw that you did a little interview for the news, huh?
Yeah, I was on Channel 4 LA News. So I was like 30 seconds on Sunday. No, I was just like, I'm a Twitter fiend, like everybody knows, and I was on Twitter, and this journalist popped up, and she was like, can I talk to you? Because I'd like tried to, when they opened it up to 65 and over, I'd been like trying to get my parents in, and like another friend of mine was trying it, and like the site was crashing. It was like a fucking mess. And I got them in. They're actually getting their second dose tomorrow. Thank God.
That's awesome.
Fuck yeah. And yeah, and they just wanted to talk to me and figure out, like, you know, they called me a tech savvy millennial.
I didn't think so.
No, I was like, on the news thing, they're like, Andy Kennerecki is a tech savvy millennial who was helping his parents get vaccinated. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, just agree with it, go with it.
I was like, savvy, okay. Yeah, so it was just about like kind of navigating that, because I've also been like translating for my dad's friends, trying to help them figure it out and get you know, because like old people don't, if I had trouble as a tech savvy person, like old people are going to just like pass away from stress trying to get this damn vaccine before they even get the damn vaccine. So it was just about that, but it's getting easier, knock on wood. So
good. You mentioned you're pretty into Twitter. I'm personally not that into Twitter, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I tried getting into it. I've had an account forever, but like I'm not on there as much, and I've noticed like shit goes down on Armenian Twitter that we don't necessarily see on Instagram or Facebook. And then I'm barely catching up, and I'm like, whoa, wait the fuck minute. Like, what is happening? Is this where some of that came from? Like, what's going on to me?
Yeah, it definitely was part of it. Like, if you think there's drama on Instagram, Twitter is like the Real Housewives of something else. Like, it is another story on Twitter. I did not understand what was going on. Yeah, the craziest story recently is there was this guy who had posted on Twitter like, hey, I am a USC student. I just came out and I'm Armenian. I'm 19. Can we, like, you know, I'm just trying to meet more people. And, you know, I just came out. And so he started, he followed me, followed a bunch of other people. And everyone's like, oh, good for you. Like, you know, like anything you need, let us know. Turned out it was like a fake account that was started to like ask people for nudes and was like trying to harass them and shit. Yeah, didn't ask me for my nudes, which I was a little offended by, but it's okay. Not that I would have given.
Probably has your OnlyFans, and
I know. I was like, you have to pay. I do like burlesque shows that are not that expensive. Like, you could just come see that. And like, it's not like hello. Yeah. So then that happened, and then he was like threatening to like release like information. I guess he was like talking to people who were closeted and like threatening to release their info.
Wow.
And so it was crazy. Like, I had like a bunch of people message me. They're like stop talking to him, because I was just sending like nice tweets, like, you know, good for you. Like, I know it's really tough when you first up, and then it just ended up being like a soap opera. It was crazy.
Did you guys ever find out who it really was?
I don't know. Other people on Twitter kind of think they know, but I don't. It's hard to tell, because it's just like you can create any account and just put your face. You can put a photo of like this guy, and you have one follower, and you can just like do so much damage. It's pretty crazy.
What a piece of shit, though. What a fucking piece of shit, because it's already so hard for gay Armenians to come out of the closet. I personally know a lot of them that are in the closet that are absolutely scared to come out, and to use that to, I don't know, have leverage on people, or like to blackmail people. Like, that's absolutely fucking disgusting, dude. Like,
it's also illegal to take somebody's nude photos and threaten to release them. Like, that's illegal.
Right.
You can't do that.
That's why I'm like, did you guys find out who the fuck it was? I would love to go after them. Yeah.
It was, I don't know. The account was like deleted. Like, it just went away. So I don't know.
Piece of shit, dude. I was speaking to someone yesterday. Again, I'm not on Twitter, but they were explaining to me that there's this particular person on Twitter that's been spreading this fucking rhetoric of, if you are biracial Armenian, you're not really Armenian. And I'm assuming this person is also talking about, you know, gay Armenians are not really Armenians. Have you experienced, because I recently actually just found out that you're biracial. I didn't know. I thought you were full Armenian. Have you also experienced things like that as well on Twitter?
I have, but I'll be honest with you, it's not, what I get is nowhere near to the extent of Armenians who are half Black or Latino or Asian, because my mom's white. My mom's from England.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody's like offended by British people, and like that's just let's call it for what it is. So
I'm very offended by British people, Andy. I don't know what you're talking
I'm
about.
offended by the dental work, but that's as far as I'll go. Which thank God for America. Hey. Even though we pay a lot for it. Anyways. Yeah, I haven't faced as much of it. What I have faced has kind of been like, no, but you're only Armenian. Like, you should not acknowledge this whole other side of your heritage, which is just stupid because, like, I grew up with both my parents being like, this is important, this is who you are, and, like, acknowledge it. Like, I learned about the kings and queens of England before I learned about the presidents. Like, that's just,
Were
like...
you born over there?
I was born here.
Okay.
But my mom still has her accent and everything. She's very, very British. So
I'm surprised you don't have a British accent.
Because I'm from California.
Okay. Do you ever does it come easy for you though when you're doing it for like acting or comedy? Like, do you ever do it?
It's not. It's pretty easy for me. It's the hard thing with English accents is there's like, for such a small country geographically, they have like 80 different dialects. So like England is a totally different dialect compared to like London. And even in London, you have like posh, like Keira Knightley accent and then like Adele.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's just, they have so many different dialects and they're all very, very different. So, for the most part, yeah, but I think I can mainly do like a London one. Like Northern, like I'm watching a lot of Love Island UK. That's like my trash TV to just like zone out. And some of the accents I have to put on captions because I don't understand them, even though they're speaking in English. I'm like, I don't know what this dude is saying.
Yeah.
Literally have no idea. Yeah.
Sure, let me do this. Sorry, my phone's being weird. That's crazy. Okay. I mean, that makes sense though, because I have heard like different versions of the accent. I'll be honest with you. One of the trash TVs that I like, I watch clips of it on YouTube. It's basically like British Jerry Springer. I don't know what his name is.
Jeremy Hill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
yo, I know.
That fucking show is crazy.
Yeah. Jeremy Kyle's show is like, sometimes it's almost worse than Jerry Springer.
Right. Yes. It really, it is. Well, you know, it's craziness. But I did wanted to like kind of, sorry about that. I had to fix something.
Oh.
But you know, kind of coming back to a little bit more serious talk. How, like, because I saw your video on someone else's page. We were speaking about this the other day. Of this person on Instagram. I don't even want to say this motherfucker's name, bro. Like, that's how much I don't like this person that I don't even want to give them like any type of recognition, clout, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Talk to me about this, like the video. And you didn't post it on Instagram, I don't think. Did you just post it on Twitter?
No, the video's on Instagram too.
Okay. So talk to me about that shit. Like, has this motherfucker like messaged you privately talking shit, or it was just comments he was leaving under your posts? Like, what was happening with that situation? And if you want to say their name, that's completely up to you. I personally, I don't want to give him any type of like recognition, but up to you if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, well, I've blocked this person now. I wasn't initially because they had a lot of followers in a public profile, and I guess...
Which I don't give a fuck. I'll still block a bitch with a blue check mark. Fuck that shit. Go on.
There was no blue check mark, though. But, yeah, this was just... I had posted... I can't remember the first video he started throwing. It was something with me as Cutie Pie in the wig. Right. And I had posted it, and he came on there and was like, basically just like, you're not Armenian, you're a faggot, you're gyot, which, by the way, shout out to Hog Up. I'm wearing my Guild shirt today because we're
nice.
We're
Fuck yeah.
he's like for charity. He has a bunch of stuff for charity, so go to his page, hago.ip on Instagram. He's amazing. Anyways, yeah, he just was calling me a bunch of names. He said that and then he got like really crazy. He said that I was a Persian Jew, that was an agent of Israel, that I was not Armenian, that I was sick in the head. And then anybody who was commenting, defending me, which was like 99% of people, he was attacking them, saying like, you're a dumb woman, you're dumb this, whatever. Somebody put his name up there and said, I don't give a fuck about his reputation.
Oh, love, let me make it very clear, babe. It's not about his reputation. Fuck him and his reputation. It's about him, like, not getting any type of recognition from me. You feel me? Like, I don't want to say, because if I say his name, I don't even know the numbers. Whatever, his name is fucking Nadek. I don't give a shit. But, like, it's not about his reputation. It's about, like, not giving him any type of clout. Because, as you know, whatever, like, am I gonna be big-headed right now? Yes, the fuck I am. Because if I say his name, he might get followers, or people might go to his page, and I don't want that. You know, real talk, I don't want that. And I did hear he has a lot of followers, but whatever, we're gonna move on with the story. So he came on there and people were defending you.
Yeah, people were defending. There was a couple people who came in who had, of course, private profiles with no followers and no posts, which troll. They don't want to, you know, this guy, the reason I kept posting his stuff was because it's like, if you're doing that publicly, all I'm doing is reposting what you're saying publicly. I'm not doing much. It takes 2 seconds as a click, screenshot, put it up there. And he also had on his page a number of like conspiracy theory things, like COVID's fake, 5G, which whatever, like whatever, like go down that rabbit hole. But the fact that he was just like, look, this is what an Armenian is. You can't be this. You can't be that. And a lot of people, like, at a certain point, I was like, I'm just going to ignore him because this is clearly somebody who is in a lot of pain. I think when you snap like that, I'm not defending it. There's pain there. Hurt people hurt people. I don't believe somebody who's happy and well-adjusted is going to go around and talk that way. There's pain there. You're there. So I felt bad for him. I said, look, I'm just going to send you the best. I'll pray for you. And that's that. But you're not going to get away with it. People need to know about this. What pissed me off, which is what I'm going to snap about now, people who were messaging me saying, listen, I don't agree with what he's saying, but he's done a lot for Armenia. Like, don't make a big deal. Stop reposting things. Stop saying this. You know, we need to focus on this. And it's like, and a lot of it was well-meaning, but I was like, you know what? First off, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. Okay, we're not dumb people that can just focus on one thing. Don't, like, discredit us that way. Like, really? We're smart fucking people. We can handle that. Number two, that doesn't absolve anybody of what they've said and done. Okay, like, Harvey Weinstein is a horrible person. He also raised a bunch of money for charity. You just ignore all the people that. And if you're going to publicly say that stuff, people should see it. And a lot of people did see it and were like, I had no idea because I was just following because of this, this, and this. So it wasn't me trying to like cancel a person, which is not a thing, by the way. It was just basically saying, look, if you're going to say this and try to hurt people, you're doing it publicly, people should know about it. And they should, following that type of message that you're sending is support. Especially if you know about it. If you didn't know about it, that's one thing. But if you know about it, you see it, you're supporting it.
Absolutely. And see, the thing, when I saw that video, I was like really pissed. And I was like, who the fuck is this? And I put in his name into the IG thing. And it took me to his page, but it said blocked. So he had already said or done something that I was not feeling, and I had blocked him. So that makes sense. What pissed me off, and I could totally, I've gotten messages and comments like that as well. You know, there's so much going on in Armenia. Like, you know, we're really broken right now. Like, is this the time to talk about this? Like, when is it ever the right time to talk about things like this, right? To those people, I feel like they hide behind that. They hide behind like the patriotic Armenian stance, and they claim that they're allies of the LGBTQ community, but they're really not. What they're doing is just encouraging scums like this person to continue to talking this way and putting out like such a hateful message. And like you said, we can chew gum and walk at the same time. Why can't we talk about multiple things? Just because I'm talking about LGBTQ rights in Armenia doesn't mean that I'm completely ignoring everything else that's going on. Like, I really hate when our people have that mentality. And I think we've had it for a really long time, or even to talk about feminism, to talk about what's going on. I remember Tello-John was posting a lot of great information and great things. Not great, but like it was good information that what was going on in Armenia when it came to like domestic violence, it came to LGBTQ rights, and like someone had commented saying like, we have so much stuff going on, Armenians are already split up as it is, you're causing even more like a rift more in the people. And I'm just like, you can't talk about those two things, like, or you know, like domestic violence laws are not as important as X, Y, and Z that you think is more important. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Or when I did the IG live last week after I had read that article, I also like, you know, came on and I was like, I'm going to check my privilege and talk about this. And I also spoke about my grandparents repatriating to Armenia from Egypt. And I just like mentioned that, yeah, you know what? They were discriminated against, just like a lot of Armenians that are from other places would repatriate back to Armenia, and they would get discriminated. And so many people, like, they're commenting things like, oh, they were just trying to say Yekhbad, they couldn't, so they said Akhbad. And it's like, no, I know the fucking difference. Why are you completely like discrediting my own grandfather's experience? Like, this is something this man told me he experienced himself, you know? It's just, or my favorite that I have gotten so many times, because like over the last 7-8 years that I've been doing more of the Armenian videos on Instagram and social media, Vine. Do you remember Vine? Oh my God.
Vine.
Were you on Vine?
I was on Vine, yeah.
Oh my God. Did I like age myself? Like, is that what just happened? Whatever. I got a middle part. I'm a Gen Z. Like when I would either like post about or talk about or even do like a sketch about like fraud, right? Let's say like Armenians doing fraud. Listen, it's a stereotype. I don't like it either, but it's a stereotype and it exists for a reason, because it's actually happening. I would have people commenting or DMing me talking about, you can't talk about this type of stuff, especially in English. You're making your people look bad. You're making us look bad. Like, we're not supposed to be saying stuff like this. And I'm just like, the fuck? Like, do you really think the entire world thinks Armenians are angels? Like, do we not have Armenian gangsters? I'm sorry, did you forget Armenian Power in the 90s in LA? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, they try to, and look, that doesn't, just because we make like, you know, funny videos about like, you know, like Armenian fraud or like Armenian stereotype, that doesn't mean that we're completely disregarding or discrediting like Armenian scientists, Armenian doctors, Armenian nurses, Armenian teachers. Like, we talk about all that stuff. Like, why can't we talk? It's just this, like, what is it called? Like, holier than thou attitude.
Holier than thou, yeah. Well, it's like, also really for comedy. For me, like, because I've gotten that shit when I did Shit Armenian Girls Say, and I had, like, jokes about Medicare fraud and stuff, and people were like, this is not how every Armenian girl is. I'm like, obviously I know that. Right. For me, it's, like, making fun of that. Like, so one of my biggest inspirations is Mel Brooks. And Mel Brooks, who did like Young Frankenstein and stuff, he's Jewish and he makes fun of Jewish people more than anyone else. And the reason he did it, at least my interpretation, was, I'm going to go there and make light of the situation so that you don't get to do it to me first. Right. That was always my mentality, is like, there's going to be people who are going to talk shit anyways. So let me go there and make fun of it first, and people will laugh at it because they understand the ridiculousness, but also some of the truth in it and how those get mixed up. And then we go there first, we take back the power, we get the laughs, and not the other people who are saying it's going to hurt us. That's that, and I think some people don't get that.
No, they like not at all. They don't understand that concept.
Yeah.
And like they take it very personal, especially like with stand-up comedy. When I started stand-up comedy almost 11 years ago, one of the first things Bobby Oliver, shout out to Bobby Oliver, she was my first comedy teacher at Ice House.
Yeah.
She said like so like I was talking about like different because it was I think was it around 2012, like I was really into like end of the world shit. Okay, it was around 2012 and I like had all those like Aztec books, like calendar, Mayan calendar. It was gonna like, I don't know, Chiggy, that means, you know, but now we're like literally living through apocalypse and I don't care because I have a ring light. So so like I was talking about how like different groups of people are going to react to the apocalypse. And she was like, listen, you need to talk about your own people first. Like talk about what Armenians would be doing during the apocalypse and then talk about X, Y, and Z. And from there, and even at that first time, I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, if an Armenian comes to the show, they're going to get so offended and they're going to get mad at me. Like, that was my thought in the beginning. And then as I did more shows, I did more open mics, I wrote more jokes, I realized, like, no, I think I'm giving some sort of like a voice to the Armenian community within the comedy community. And back then, look, if I'm keeping it 100 with you, as Armenians say, like I started doing stand-up comedy 11 years ago, and a lot of the audience was not Armenian. They weren't Armenians. It's not until like I met Michael Gregorian, Mosa Shakarian, that we started doing Armenian nights at Flappers. Back then, it wasn't a lot of Armenians. It's just like I would post on social media and like my friends would come support and like maybe some other like Armenians here and there. But usually it wasn't a lot of Armenians in the crowd. It was mainly like non-Armenians. And like I remember speaking on being an Armenian girl, like speaking, and that's actually where the hashtag funny Armenian girl comes from. When I uploaded my first comedy set on YouTube, I was like, oh, I have to put tags, and I was like, funny Armenian girl. And then that's where I was like, fuck this is my hashtag, I'm gonna use this, you know, and I just went from there. But you know, like speaking of comedy though, how long ago did you start comedy or theater or acting? Like how did you get into it?
I've done curious since I was in elementary school.
Shut up.
Yeah, it's been over 20 years, that's all I'll say.
Where's your middle part, bro? Your middle part, guy. Show there.
Here. Since I was in elementary school, I've been doing it. I've always wanted to be an actor since I was a kid. I don't have, you know, some kids have like a moment where they're like, oh, I saw this and that's when I knew I wanted to do that. Like, I don't have that. I just always wanted to do it. Wow. My parents are like, we never like took you to like the theater and something happened. You just always were like, I want to be in movies. I want to be on a stage. Like, I just always wanted to do it. The way the comedy shit started was I did Shit Armenians Girls Say. This was 2012 as well, when the world was ending.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank God. And at that time, like Shit Girls Say was like a big video. And people started to make like shit, Mexican girls say shit, white girls say shit, everybody says, whatever.
Yeah. And
my friend was like, you should make a Shit Armenian girl say. And I was like, what am I going to do? Like, I don't know. And I was driving to my friend's house up in the hills of Glendale, which are like crazy. And I had all these, like, I don't even know what happened. I swear to God, it was like, if you believe in God or muses or whatever, something happened. I don't even know. All these lines started coming in my head.
Nice.
And I just kept repeating them in the car. And as soon as I got to my friend's house, I was like, just give me a piece of paper. And I wrote all of it down. I called up my friend Lana Basmadjian, who's a great editor, photographer. And I was like, let's film this. I didn't know anything about YouTube. I didn't know anything about videos. I didn't at all.
Yeah.
And filmed it in like 3 hours, 2 hours at my friend's house, edited it and put it up the next day. And I didn't know anything. That's why my YouTube channel has such a stupid name, like Andy K Comedy, because I didn't know what to say. I didn't know anything about YouTube.
That's good.
Happened. Yeah. And it just went from...
Did it go viral right away, or did it like take a little bit of time? Do you remember?
No, right away, because that night I went to Katana's in Burbank.
Shut the
I'm not kidding. I swear to God, this is the truth. I went to Katana's in Burbank. It got like a couple thousand views the first day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to Katana's in Burbank. And
let me stop you right there real quick, because I feel like a lot of young people might be like, a couple thousand. That's fucking a lot. For back then, dude, that is a lot. We weren't like, we didn't have fucking TikTok where just like that, it's millions. So, and especially on YouTube, the way the algorithm, now it's not what it was back then.
No.
So that was like some organic ass views spreading, like probably sending the link. I remember watching that back then and cracking the fuck up.
Yeah, and that's before YouTube, like, YouTube now, like, has partnerships with, like, their top content people, and they always get pushed up to the front, and they get to, like, use the YouTube space. That was, like, before any of that. So, like, within a day, I had ads on my video, and I was, like, making money off of it.
Nice.
Like, not a lot. It takes, for like, so much. But, yeah, no, but I went to Katana's that night, which, for those of you who don't know, it's a hookah lounge in Burbank. And like the waitress recognized me, another table recognized me, but it was like, it was one of the coolest things, but also one of the weirdest things.
Yeah.
It was just, it really did feel just like in 24 hours, like, it was crazy. Yeah.
That's awesome though. Did that video kind of like, I don't know, did you always have Armenian friends? Did you always have Armenian, like, not coworkers, but people you worked with in acting and in comedy? Or did that propel you more into the Armenian realm of comedy and acting?
It pushed me more into the Armenian stuff because I had always been acting, always been doing stuff, but, you know, I wasn't thinking of myself as, like, gonna focus on Armenian culture. Right. I just was like, oh, I'm going to be an actor and I can, like, you know, I'm ethnically ambiguous. I can play like different races or whatever.
Terrorist. To play a terrorist. Go on. That's what they do.
Yeah. I auditioned for a lot. Yeah. Or like a plastic surgeon or a gas station attendant, apparently.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So, yeah, that kind of pushed me in that direction. Because I just wasn't expecting it to blow up and become something, and it did. And then I just kept making videos, and then I stopped Cutie Pie for a while because I got sick of it, honestly. Like, after about a year or two, I got sick of it. And then this past year with COVID, there was like nothing to do, and I was bored, I was scared, I was depressed like everybody else. And my mom, God bless her, was like, where's Cutie Pie? Bring Cutie Pie back. Where has she been?
That's so cute.
She's like, where is she? She probably has a lot to say about this. And then it just kind of happened.
That's really cute. That's awesome. I like that your mom, like, was encouraging you instead of like, oh, you know, don't do that, you know, like most fucking people that I know. But nobody tells me shit. I can tell you that. They know I'll slap the fuck out of them. You can't tell me shit. But speaking of getting tired of character, and I know, like, we have done Piso and Cutie Pie videos. Bro, you know how much I hate Piso. Like, I hate that bitch's voice. I know it's me, but I hate it, okay? Like, the way she talks. And my friend Moses Shakarian, shout out to him if you're in here, he hates her. Hates her with a passion. Like, when you know what? I created Piso November or December of 2019. And right when I created her, like a week or two, I went to visit him and his husband in Vegas. And I was doing the character. Bro, he was like, Mary, shut the fuck up. Like, I do not like the voice gets on his nerves. And isn't it a trip that we do these characters and, like, they kind of piss you off a little bit almost? Because I don't know if, I think we did a COVID video where, like, Piso didn't really believe COVID was real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I was like, yeah, that's her. That's the one. She doesn't believe it. Like,
yeah. Well, that's the thing with characters like that is, like, but I also think when you get the fact that you're annoyed by her means it's a very good character that you've developed, because that's a full-blown human being. Because things like even our own parents who we love, sometimes you're like, just shut up, like, just stop. Right. Especially now that we're all at home, like, there are times that I'm like, my dad talks about something and I'm like, I'm gonna like kill him. Like I'm gonna kill him. That means you've developed a fully formed character that's like a human being. And
Okay.
yeah, you're not supposed to love them all the time. We don't love anybody all the time.
Okay. Good, good. I'm personally jealous of Bartush. That bitch gets all the attention and I don't like that. You know? They're like, oh, where's Bartush? Bitch, I don't know. Mary's here. The
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, 'cause that must be so that must be like, do people ever like recognize you and they're like, oh, like, cause you know, you're Bartush, or like, is it like when you have to put the wig on or something? Because I've had like 50-50 where people recognize me and sometimes people don't. And they're like, no, you're not Cutie Pie. You don't look anything like them, which literally it's just a shitty wig. I don't do anything else, which is really weird.
Just carry that wig around, bro, and just like,
No.
look.
Yeah, it's literally like I don't put on makeup. Like it's not like I'm not RuPaul. I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah.
So, but does that happen to you? Like, do people sometimes go like, "Oh, you're Vartush," like they don't believe you're Vartush, or like how does that work for you?
One time, that happened only one time with this lady where like her friend recognized me, but she was like, "No, Vartush is an old lady," and then I was like, "Yeah, yeah, she is." Like, but that was like that one time. But usually, what happens? They'll see me. I don't have a wig on or anything. I'm just regular. And they're like, Vartush, Vartush. And they yell out Vartush. And my name is not Vartush. It's Mary. And it feels weird. Or like I'll get DMs or emails or whatever. And it'll be like, hi, Vartush John. And I'm like, okay, like I'm not Vartush, I'm married. Like I almost have an identity crisis, bro. Like that's at that level. Most of this is in here. Mary is an old lady. Shut the fuck up, bro. You're old. And sit on. Is your part even in the middle, bro? Get out of here. I'm gonna keep. Oh my god, fucking Gen Zers. Anyways, I've been on TikTok, bro. You're on TikTok, Chet?
I am, but I don't use it that much because I understand how it works. I just can't focus on multiple things like that at once.
Yeah.
I don't.
I was lucky enough. I created a TikTok, and then a Vartush TikTok was created, and I'm so grateful for the person that created it. By the way, I'm so grateful that I forgot. I'm drawing a blank on his Instagram right now, but I was like, hey, listen, I'm gonna like, and it got like insane amount of views and follows, but Vartush, that was Vartush, not Mary again. And the thing with TikTok is, dude, it's like you have to study it before you start creating it. I almost feel like, because the insane amount of like, you know, what is it? The filters and the different things that it does, the voice changing, this, that, and the other. I feel like if you don't really get a grasp of it, you're not going to understand what you're creating, how you're creating it, and what you're doing. And then I don't want to look like those, I don't know, people that are on TikTok, the older people that don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't want to look like those people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to make sure I understand what the hell I'm doing, what I'm putting out, and also if it's trending. Like, that's another big thing is I try to check for trending. But also, if I'm being honest, I consume more TikTok than I create, way more TikTok than I create TikTok.
Me too.
And I like it. I like consuming it. Like I'm on the For You page is definitely for me. Like I get freaked out how much I connect with the For You page and how well they know and like what I'm looking for. But I guess, you know, that's their job to fucking spy on us and shit. I don't know, but fucking paranoia side is like coming out.
Yeah.
Like that busted challenge. Like I was like, I want to do this busted challenge, you know, where like it's the song and then you drop down and it's like someone else, like you're more dressed up. I was like, I gotta do that Vartush style. Like I gotta figure out how to do this shit. And then Andy, let me tell you, bro, I had to practice, dog. Like I was like, okay, first of all, can I bust it? Can my fat ass get down and then back up again? Like, can we do this without holding on to something? Like, that was my fucking, and so many people in the comments too, they're like, your knees are made of steel. Like, I was like, yes, bitch. Yes, they are. Like, fuck, dude. It's hard. But, well, it was really cool getting to know you on this level too, even though we've made videos together and like you know, we learn like little by little, you know, how we deal with stuff. And I think like you've seen me like struggle with some of these lines, bro. Like, and I hate talk to myself as I'm making these videos. If only I could post the outtakes. How do you like deal with the outtakes, bro? Do you have a lot of outtakes? Is it usually like all the way through? Like, how do you go through it?
It depends. Since I'm at home just filming everything by myself now,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's not as much because things aren't kind of set up. It's just me doing it really with my phone or whatever.
Yeah.
When I did like Shit Armenian Girl Say and Hookah Girl and things like that, we definitely had outtakes. Not a huge amount because I tend to try to go into every video with like a pretty clear idea, and I usually prep a lot beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to just like go into it. I think that's just like my theater background and training of like being like super prepped and all of that. So I try to bring that to the video so that I can just kind of like go straight into it and do it. But yeah, sometimes, yeah, I fuck up a lot.
Yeah.
No, no one has to see it.
But do you think that your Cutie Pie character or any other comedy or skits that you do, like, do you have any messages, and usually messages in mind, like specifically for like Armenian LGBTQ community? Like, has that helped you communicate a little bit more your frustration in that sense? Like, do you usually have a message that goes with it, is what I'm saying?
With Cutie Pie?
Yeah, or with any of your like work that you put out there.
Yeah, I think it's my intent was not to have a message. My intent was just to make people laugh from day one and just create stuff and do my thing.
Mm-hmm.
With Cutie Pie, it's evolved a lot, especially this past year when I was doing the personalized videos for ArtSock. And for a week, I did a bunch of videos, and all the proceeds went to ArtSock, to queries. And a lot of the video requests that were coming in were people who were like, oh, this is for my friend who's a teacher. She's going through a really hard time. This is for my friend who like has COVID and she's at home. This is for this person.
Right.
And I still made the videos funny, but for some reason, as I was doing them, I realized they were becoming pep talks.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, you can do it. Like, you're a teacher. Like, you are an angel. I know it's so hard to be a teacher. Like, we're with you. Like, I remember my teachers. And it just started to become this pep talk. And I was getting messages from people who were like, I cried at the video. Like, thank you so much. And I was like, I don't want to make people cry. Like, that was never my intention.
No, that's a good thing, though. That's a really good thing. That means, like, I know exactly what you're talking about with, like, the pep talk. It does. It like, the character kind of takes over almost, and it like goes in. I totally know exactly what you're talking about. And if they cry, that's great. That's even better. I love that shit. I was like, yes, show me that passion. Like, so for sure, I completely understand on that point. And great on you for doing that too, by the way. Mary makes me cry all the time. Fuck you, Moses. He's such a piece of shit sometimes. But kind of like coming back to, you know, that the live that I did for checking my privilege, and when I did read the article and I was like, oh yeah, you know, I'd love to repatriate back. What are some of your thoughts? Is this something that like you've thought about before, or have you ever visited Armenia before?
I was actually supposed to visit last year because I have a friend, my friend Osan Markarian, who actually designed the graphic that we used for this to promote it. Which maybe she's watching. Hi, Osan. She's living there right now. And I was supposed to visit her. And then, of course, you know, pandemic. I really do want to visit. It is like my top place I want to go to. I will be honest with you that after seeing a lot of these comments, and by the way, like, these comments don't hurt me. I just want people to know, like, I'm not offended because I expect it. I just am very vocal because I get messages from young people all the time who are like, I can't come out to my parents. I live in Armenia, or I live somewhere in the diaspora, and it's, you know, and I feel like I have to say something for them. Like, I hate letting that just go. It's just that, like, not to say something like that will eat at me. That's just who I am. So I do want to go, but I will be honest, I'm a little scared too.
Okay.
I will just be honest. Yeah.
That's very, and that is something that when I did the live, I read the article on live, and like, you know, repatriating has always been like a part of, I've heard it during my childhood, like, oh, piti ganang ket hayastan aprelu, like, piti ganang medmaireni lezun piti sovrang, piti ganang hayastan apreng. So like, I've always heard that, always, that we're gonna, like, you know, live in Armenia. But it didn't really occur to me, and that's why I wanted to make that video, so that, you know, LGBTQ Armenians also, so that I don't, you know, I don't feel like I'm ignoring them. Like, I didn't want it to come off like that. And in that moment, again, like, it slipped. I was like, oh shit. But it really disheartens me to hear this as well. And a lot of people also commented, like, saying, like, you know, it's kind of dangerous. And then we had another person commenting, like, you know, I have a friend who's gay, and he doesn't experience any discrimination or whatever, which that is that one person's account. Like, it's that one person, you know, you can't say that for everyone. And of course, different parts of the country, it's different. But something like, and of course, like, being straight, like, I can't say this to LGBTQ Armenians, that, like, no, don't let these bigots scare you into going and visiting your homeland, your you know, Armenia. But it's like, it's not, I can't really speak on that, you know what I mean, because I'm not going to be experiencing that. They will, I won't. So I can't say that to them. But I did get another message from someone who's married to an Italian, married to an Italian man, and they have 3 adopted beautiful kids, one of which is a Black kid. And he was like, I was scared at first too, but I'm not going to let any of those motherfuckers stand in my way. I'm going to take my kids to Armenia, and I'm going to show them Armenia. I'm going to show my husband Armenia, where I come from and everything else. Like, and I was like, fuck yes, dude. Like, I love that shit. And here's another, like, little thing that I feel like people might have misconstrued, was like, that I was talking shit about Armenia. I wasn't talking shit about Armenia. I fucking love Armenia. And like, some bigot people, like, I'm not gonna fucking, you know, I'm not gonna, like, hate Armenia because of, like, what these bigots are saying. I want to encourage everyone, all Armenians, to at least visit Armenia, see Armenia. And like, you don't obviously have to repatriate, like, that's your choice. But it really, I just wanted to, like, encourage people to not just think about themselves, but to think about other Armenians, other walks of life in our Armenian community, and, like, it's going to be different for them. But I really do wish shit was different. I really wish, like, you know, there were laws created over there. I also, speaking of laws, and I think you made a really good point the other day when you posted the flyer for this live, and someone commented saying, you know, you're asking for special laws.
Right.
Yeah. And you made a really good point. You're like, we're not asking for special laws. We're asking for the laws to apply to everyone.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think, and that's a common, my conversation with that guy was like, that I took his words as like, maybe he doesn't know, because some people just don't fucking know, and that's fine. But I took it as he's been told by people, organizations, media, that we want special rights. Right. And you can't get them. It's just for me because I'm special. No, he actually has, if he's a straight cisgendered person, more protections, by the way, in the United fucking States. Right. I do. Maybe not in California, but in Texas, I could go to Texas right now and a landlord could say, you're gay, I'm not going to rent to you. And that's legal. Yeah. That is legal. Until you pass the Equality Act, which they're going to pass in the House next week. Call your representatives if you want it to fucking pass, you guys. Call them ASAP. In America, modern day, that's what's happening. So in like half of states. So that's not special rights. That's just, we want it to apply to everybody and also to be left alone. Yeah. Where people want to be left alone. If you're not into it, that's fine. You don't have to hang out with us. Just leave it alone. Yeah, like, what the fuck? We're not interested. That's fine. Like, you live your life and I'm gonna live mine. I'm not doing anything to fucking hurt you. Like, you're the one coming out of your way to fuck with me. Like, that's what I don't understand, some of these people. And it's just, Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, get the hell out of here, bro. Like, coinge gorgesin chemanum. Like,
Yeah.
it's
I do want to say one thing really quickly about discrimination, because I think this often gets confused. A lot of discrimination is invisible to people. It's not, a lot of prejudice, a lot of hate is not super vocal. Most of it is somebody who looks in your face and smiles and shakes your hand. And then what the fuck are they saying when you're out there? Oh, we're not going to hire him. I'm not going to rent the apartment. We're just going to say that somebody else got it. That's what most discrimination is it's not even, because most people are like chicken shit to like say it to your face. And that guy, that guy who, you know, he who shall not be named, who was saying shit on Instagram. Look, honestly, I respected that he was at least fucking upfront about it. And public about it. You know, I'm not respecting him or what he said, but he at least put his face to his words, because a lot of people don't do that. They'll shake your hand and smile at you and think that being polite is enough. Being polite, being nice is basic. It is easy. That is the bare minimum, in my opinion, for a human being. What are you saying when I'm not in the room? What are you doing when I'm not in the room? What organizations are you supporting? Who are you voting for? And how does that affect other people? Right? Who to vote for. I'm just saying, like, smiling and shaking my hand, saying I love you, that's great. What about when I'm not around? And a lot of discrimination happens that way, where it's like invisible behind the back door, whispering that kind of shit.
Yeah, totally. And that's also something, like, because again, checking privilege here, because I'm not Black, but I have Black friends that I spoke to. And within this last year, I learned that, like, I thought California is a liberal state, right? I was like, oh, racism, like, yeah, it happens here, but like, oh, maybe it's not like how it is in Texas or how it's in, you know, in the Southern Bible Belt states, right?
Sure.
But it's like something a friend of mine said. She was like, honestly, though, California racists are a lot worse than the Southern racists, because they will smile, like exactly what you said. They'll smile at your face, but the rhetoric behind closed doors and everything else that they do is fucking racist. Whereas Southern racist people will just say it to your fucking face. And it's like, well, shit, you know? And I remember, like, it was this video of, and this was like, you know, before the elections, everything that was building up to it. I saw this one video of the girl. It was in a parking lot. It was a bunch of like these trucks with Trump flags and just going crazy on this one girl as she's filming them. She doesn't give a fuck. She's like, fuck you guys. Like, you know, they're going back and forth, you know. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, what state is this in? Like, this is so fucked up. Like, I bet you this is one of the, and then I see it's Victorville, California. And I was like, oh,
it's everywhere. No, racism's the shit I've heard some family members of mine say. Let's be honest.
Right.
All of us have that, you know.
And it brings me to this, like, what can heterosexual allies do for you, like for the LGBTQ community, especially in the Armenian community? Wouldn't it like start from changing that narrative within our own homes when we hear people talking this way?
Yeah, and actually that was one of the questions I got from somebody on Instagram was, what can allies do? And I think, you know, being a couple of things. One is, you know who you're voting for, first off.
Right.
What organizations you're supporting and the leadership, and that includes religious organizations. Know what they're saying, know what they're supporting. And if you don't like it, be vocal about it. And also, your wallet counts a lot. Stop donating money to them, or stop giving businesses or whatever. Another thing I would say is to be very, I know not everybody sometimes has this luxury. I understand that, but private support is wonderful. It only goes so far. So if you're going to privately tell somebody you love and support them, but you're not willing to speak up publicly and tell your own family members, like, hey, that's actually not cool. I'm not saying you have to get into a fight with them, but just have that discussion. And I think one of the problems we've had in our community, especially, not just with LGBTQ issues, but also with domestic violence, drug abuse, addiction, mental health, I mean, so many things, is that nobody wants to talk about anything. Everything is, let's not upset tonight. We have some nice kebab. We have some nice wine. Let's
Yeah.
just celebrate. And that's great. You know, not every night has to be a movement or something. You know, you got to enjoy yourself. But talk about these things. When you don't talk about them, you keep it under the surface and it bubbles up and it bubbles up and it bubbles up and it gets worse and worse and worse and it festers like a wound, you know, and then it just becomes a horrible infection. You have to talk about these things. And I think for long, too many people just go along with it. And it's not even just older people. There's a lot of younger people who are like, well, mommy and daddy told me this, so I'm going to stick with it. I get it. You're a grown adult now. If you can't formulate your own thoughts and opinions and you can't do your own research and question your own thinking, which every human being should be doing, I don't know what to tell you.
Right. Right.
But just people need to talk about it. That's number one thing. About it, and don't let things slide. You have to challenge it.
And I think that's something that I have noticed is people don't challenge things within our community because I think they prefer the comfort. The comfort level that they are used to. Okay? Like, for example, you know, like I know some, I don't know them personally, but I know of their stories and who these people are. But like there are women who may be like in a bad situation and, you know, they'll complain about it or whatever. And I'll be like, okay, so like, you know, how can I help you? Like, let's get you out of this situation. It's like, no, we don't need to do that. Like, and that's completely, I know that's like a separate conversation, but like, it's that level of comfort that they don't want to let go of sometimes. Or like if it's parents and it's like you live with the parents, they pay for your car, they pay for your phone, they pay for X, Y, and Z, whatever. You don't want to speak on it. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to be like, okay, whatever, like I'll just not say anything and I'll go with the flow of things. Or the biggest one yet is some people choose not to speak on it because they're afraid that their pockets are going to hurt because of it, especially if they are in the business. And with a lot of Armenians, like let's say Armenian party businesses or whatever that it may be, they're not going to speak on it, even if they themselves may, you know, be part of that community. They're still not going to speak on it, dude. They're not going to speak on it because they're scared, because they're going to like lose money, or they're going to be ostracized for it. I'm not saying that word right, but like and that really fucking sucks. And I think like just these conversations, I think it's really important to have publicly as well as privately with your family. Like I remember like my grandpa, like I told him, because I was the I forgot the word for it. I married Moses and his husband Nikita. Okay, I was officiator.
Officiant.
Officiant. And I told my grandparents, okay, this was I think like 2017, 16. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't remember, Moses. But like I remember
he's gonna come at you so hard right now in the
call. I know. But I was like, really? And 2 minutes. Are we coming back? Let's do this. And you know what? What if I like, many Armenians have adopted a don't ask, don't tell mentality. That's true. Look, let me stay on right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to X out. I'm going to start again and come back into the chat. Can you do that?
So I'm going to stay on the live?
No.
Everybody else?
The live is going to go away.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you, like, I'm going to go live again, and then you're going to enter my live again.
Okay. So everybody give us a second and come back on.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. The hour was up and it was giving me a little countdown. I had to get out and come back in. Andy will be joining me shortly. We were talking about how to be vocal about how to be vocal about LGBTQ community within your own family. So let me get Andy back in here. Let me see. I gotta plug in my phone too. Hey, Andy, sorry about that.
All good.
It was going to give me, and then I was going to get abruptly cut out, and I'm trying to charge my phone. Okay. Sorry, I was talking about how I did Moses and Nikita's wedding. And I remember, like, I was doing this in a sense to kind of mess with my grandparents, because I was thinking, like, oh, my God, like, you know, they're not for gay rights. Like, they're going to talk shit about gay people if I say this. But I also wanted them to know that, hey, this is what I did, and I have a gay friend, like, you know, I support them. So I was like, Papi, yes, gayerin amusnatsneluyam, you know, like, and I kept saying like, yes, gayerin amusnatsneluyam, gayerin amusnatsneluyam. And my grandpa turns around, he goes, Eba lesbianera. And I was like, you know what? Yes, Iran, yes, and that was one of my proudest, happiest moments as a granddaughter. I was like, yo, and my grandma was the more like homophobic one, you know. She was like, yes, no, no, you know, like saying shit like that. And then she proceeded to tell me a story and about her old coworker in Armenia who caught her husband with a man, and she almost tried to kill herself, and they had 2 kids. And so she was telling me this story, right? She's like, I had a coworker and this is what happened. Like, she caught her husband, whatever. And every time she would say something like homophobic, like, I would bring that story up. I would be like, Tati, wouldn't it be better if it was legal and it was more open, so that man wouldn't have to hide and he wouldn't have to marry this woman and have kids with her? Like, if he didn't truly love her, like, don't you think this would be better? And every single time I would bring it up and she would be like, yeah, you're right, you know, like, and that's what we mean, like, when we say, like, have these conversations with your family. Like, it's so important. Like, grandparents, dude, like, they're old as shit. My grandpa was like 90 something when he said, like, I think the older they get, and I did misjudge them. I like totally underestimated their like tolerance threshold, if you want to call it that, for lack of better words. And I was totally wrong, dude. They were accepting, and like, I was really, you know, I was really like surprised and very happy about it, you know. And but I was happy to turn that into like a teaching moment for them. But you know, you said you had some questions.
Yeah,
you can get into questions, what you want to do. Like, I didn't, honestly, my DMs are like such a hot mess. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like, I don't even go in there sometimes, dog. Like, I'm like, yeah.
No, I know mine also. Sometimes I'm like, what took a dump here? All right. What dump happened here? Now, I got some questions off Instagram and Twitter, and if you guys have any questions, shoot them down below and we'll try to answer some. Some of them we have answered already. But yeah, so it's a mix of like, we got a really interesting mixture of questions. Mm-hmm. One of them is, can comedy be used as a tool for peace?
Totally. I think so.
I mean, laughter is the best medicine.
100%.
I know that's quote, but that's true. Like, it honestly, it's the best medicine. And I think it's also, you know, comedy. Joy Behar, who is not my favorite comic, but I do watch The View sometimes, she was like, stand-up comics are the philosophers of modern day. Mm-hmm. You know, because we don't have like I can't pronounce any of them, Aristotle or anybody like that. And comics, especially good ones, and if comedy is done well, it's looking at the world and then projecting it back out there with some humor. And the reason people laugh at things is because there's truth in it.
Right.
That's what makes people laugh. And that's why, like, you know, most of our audience, I'm assuming, are Armenian people, even when we make fun of Armenians.
Right.
Why? Because they know there's some truth in there. Even if it's like a ridiculous thing, there's some truth in there. So, and it can be very like therapeutic. So, and I think if you're able to use that, it can bring peace and it can bring understanding, actually.
Absolutely. And in fact, like, sometimes I find it like it diffuses tense moments as well. Like, in real life, when I had an office job, like, oh my God, I would totally use comedy to get out of shit that I was supposed to do. Yeah. And fun fact, that's when I started recording those videos for Instagram and Vine. It was in my office, and I did not do any work, Andy. I didn't get any work done. I don't give a fuck. But my backdrop was cute. It was my office. I was like, doing shit, you know, like, so 100% I think comedy can be like a big role in that, for sure.
Yeah.
And I use it all the time. I mean, I fuck with my dad like that too, dude. Like, I'll do like a funny voice just to like, I'll piss him off, and then I'll do a funny voice if I feel like he might, you know, be running towards me or something, you know?
Yeah, it does diffuse tensions a lot. Um, any plans for a live show when COVID is over?
Oh, for sure. I think so. What about you?
I'm in a theater company and we can't wait to do live shows. We're doing virtual ones right now that are kind of like a movie, but it's like there's burlesque, there's dancing, there's singing. We have a show Friday night at 7:30. If you guys are interested, link is in the bio.
Nice.
PewDiePie's in the show. But yeah, I actually really want to do like a live show with other Armenian comics as PewDiePie. Just everybody brings like different characters, and it could just be sketches, or it could be like one. I think it'd be funny if we do one where it's like get a bunch of Armenian comics and stuff, and it's like everybody's getting ready for someone's wedding.
Right.
Or something like the crazy shenanigans that go on behind the scenes. Like we never see the guest thing, or like an engagement party or something. And it could be like, like Vartush could be in it, Piso could be in it. Like just, I think that would be really funny because there's just so much material. And I think people will want to like party. So if we make it like, feel like it's a party, but it's a live show.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And have you heard of Big Bad Armo show with Lori Tatulian?
I love them, yeah.
So I did a couple of shows with them, but they've been around for like a minute, and I'm trying to remember if there was like a sketch where like they're getting ready for like Achikuzelu or something like that, or like an engagement. Like I think, and I love doing that in like these Armo mom or Armo aunt characters too, like to kind of, and that's where like I think like Vartush, where I kind of got the thing for Vartush was making fun of that kind of like, characters in our life. Like I love doing that shit. I mean, like my whole life I've been fat, and like all these Armenian women are giving me all these like tips, don't eat after 6, don't eat bread. And like, I was like, I got to do a fucking character like that. I have to show this. Like, I have to.
I have a question for you. How many of the lines that you come up with are actually word for word shit that you've heard other people say? Because for me, it's
many.
Mine is like at least 52%.
Right. Like I think in the beginning, I would literally like remember my traumatic childhood moments, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a funny video. Like I'm like, I should do this.
Yeah, every comic is just our trauma being projected into something.
Oh my god, totally, dude. That my comedy teacher Bobby Oliver had a joke like, if you want your kids to be a comedian, like ignore them. Like just, like fuck with their childhood, dude. Like I have so much shit that, comedy, I'm funny for a reason, Andy. But
so I have a funny story that I don't think I've ever told people this, but so in Shit Armenian Girls Say, one of the lines that people tell me that they like the most is, I dress sexy but in a classy way. Okay, so that is word for word what this girl from high school, like this girl I knew in high school, who's a very sweet girl, but she like wanted to be a fashion designer. I will not say who she is. Not, but she kept saying that. She's like, my fashion philosophy, her philosophy was to dress sexy in a classy way, which I was like, that's everyone. Who's like, I'm gonna dress sexy and look like a hooker on Sunset. Like who said, like no one says that. She came up to me at a wedding a year after Shit Armenian Girls Say, and she's like, that's my favorite line. And I was like, bitch, it's about you, but I couldn't say it.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Like grab my own throat. It was just like, I was like, oh my god, this is like the craziest shit. It was amazing.
That's hilarious, dude. I would like, were you waiting for, like, were you kind of nervous, like, oh, is she gonna say something to me, like, because she said it before?
I didn't know she was at the wedding until I felt a tap on my shoulder, and it was her. She's a very nice person, but I was like, oh, it's about you. Yeah. Sorry, it's about you.
You know what? Luckily, like, some of the shit that, like, in the beginning, when Vartush wasn't really Vartush yet, though, the same things, like, I was saying things my mom has said to me, or, like, friends have said to me, right? And I was waiting, like, she wasn't really on Instagram like that, but, like, I remember, I think it was one of her friends, she was like, oh, Mary, that one video was so funny, but, like, you should really not eat after 6. And I was like, okay, thank you. Like that video was about you. It was about the like not eating bread or not eating after 6 or whatever. I was like, literally, that was about you, ma'am. Like you're ridiculous. Or Vartush, and I don't do this line anymore because of COVID and everything that's happened. But Vartush, it went viral. Like I went to visit Moses in Vegas, and he was like, he has this cool balcony that like it's Vegas in the bush, the strip in the background, and that video is like Vartush with the glasses, and she's like, tenho meg, lava. Like my life is better than your life. Obviously, you know, for sensitivity purposes, I don't do that shit anymore because like there are people that are dying of COVID. They're like, you know, people that lost their businesses and jobs. I'm not gonna fucking get on the internet and be like, lava. Like,
although that I think you could still do that and it would be funny, because anybody who says look at my life, unless you're Beyonce and Jay-Z, if you're saying that, no one believes you. Like anybody who's like, look at my money, look at my life, and I'm like, $10, you're bankrupt. $10.
But wait a minute, Andy John. Wasn't it our own Queen Kim Kardashian that went on a Bahama trip, like a private Bahama trip or whatever, and was like, oh, I'm so grateful that I can take my family, and a lot of people were like, bro, you know, like some of us are starving out here, dog. Like, yeah, go on your Bahama trip, but like, why do you have to post it and be like, I'm so grateful I could do this for my family, like rent out a fucking island for my family? Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Like, for sure, you know, I could still do it, but like this one lady, I was visiting my grandma, and I was walking to my car towards the end, and this one lady comes up to me and she's like, oh, you know, I really like your videos, but don't say that, you know, my life is better than your life. That's so rude. I was like, okay, thank you, but like that's the point, you know. That's what I'm trying to say, like that it's rude. People do this shit all the time, and mind you, like you don't have to literally say it, bro. Like a lot of times when people post like pictures of stuff they have, stuff where they're going, shoes, this, that you're kind of like saying it without saying it, right? You're kind of saying like, oh, my life is better than your life. Look what I got right now. Like, look where I'm going. Blessed. # blessed. You know, it's like, dude, people are going through it. Like, be a little bit more sensitive with that shit. Like, I don't know.
It really is. And I'm sorry, anybody who like is flashing their money that much, I don't believe they have money. That's just my, like, the people that I personally know who have a lot of money shop at, like, Mervin's doesn't exist. They shop at like Kohl's or something. I'm like,
did you say Mervin's? Yes.
That's how cheap they are. They shop at a store that doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
That's how cheap they are.
Oh my God, you're so right. What other questions do we have?
So we have weirdest fan encounter, or what is your weirdest fan encounter?
You want to go first?
Sure. Yeah. I haven't had anything crazy. The two encounters that I had that were weird was I was followed through the Glendale Mall by a group of like freshman high school girls who, instead of just coming up to me and saying like, hey, or something, they just kept following me going, does hookah have calories? And they're just saying lines from my video, which I was like, I waved to them and I was like, hi. But then they followed me for like 15 minutes and I was like, this is like, I feel like I'm in the purge. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, it just was very strange. And the other one was I was at, I'm always in like a basic ass bitch place when this happens. I was at Jersey Mike's for some reason with my friend, and out of like, we're ordering food and I just hear, hi, Andy. And I turn thinking, you know, I just heard my name and it was like this. And I was like, I didn't know who it was. I'm like, hi. And he was like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, I'm sorry, do I know you? Like, I'm just at Jersey Mike's ordering like a fucking ham sandwich. I don't know. It's very weird. And he was like, I love Hookah Girl. I love your videos. My friend is like, she's totally cutie fine. And he turned around and his friend was there, and this girl with braces, and she was like, oh my God, don't say that. No, I'm not. Like, it became cute, but at first I was like, am I gonna get shot at a Jersey Mike's? Like, what's happening? Because I'll get shot anywhere, but not at a Jersey Mike's.
Not at a Jersey Mike's.
Anywhere else is fine. I get it. Jersey Mike's, no, please. I can't. I can't.
Um, like it's been happening to me for like quite some time where like people kind of recognize, and which is kind of like, in the Armenian cities like Burbank, Glendale, Hollywood, North
Yeah.
Hollywood, like that type. But I have to say the craziest was in Pasadena, Santa Anita, if you think about it. I was at the Santa Anita Mall, and I was I was going to Ziba to get my eyebrows done. Okay? I'm
Uh-huh.
not joking. I was at Ziva, bro. And like, I'm going, like, I'm waiting. I usually have like my usual person there. And I hear something from like the break, like the employee break room. And I see this lady running up to me. And I'm like, oh shit. And listen, Andy, let me tell you something. Um, Sometimes I don't like wearing a bra. Okay. So fuck it. I'm a big bitch. I don't feel like wearing a bra. And I was wearing, and it was one of those like hoodie days, right? Your hair isn't done. I'm not wearing a bra. I'm in public. I literally just went to get my eyebrows done at the mall and come back out.
Yeah.
I was trying to stay really like, had my like very private, but this lady comes up to me and all these people in the store are looking at me at this point, and she's like, oh my God, Mary, hey, what's up? Like, she's super excited. Listen, I don't want anybody to misunderstand me. I was very grateful, that I can have
Yeah.
that kind of,
It's really
effect
nice.
on people. Yeah. But it was not a day I wanted to be seen. I didn't want to be seen. I was not feeling myself. Like, I was just, you know, she's like, oh my God, I saw you last time, but like, you didn't, you left before I could say anything. And then my husband told me if I see you again, I should just yell out your name. And I was like, thank you to your husband. Thank you. It doesn't end there, bud. This she goes, oh my God, my friend so and so loves you. I have to FaceTime her. I'm
No.
like, bro, Zibay Mishtachasins, like, Veganis Kumvat. I was like, oh my, okay, cool. At this point, the person that does my eyebrows is looking. He's done with whoever he was working on. He's looking at me. He's like, oh, I'll give you some time. I'm like, no, don't give me some time. Call me to your fucking chair already, please. So I
Yeah.
go like, since Keech, I'm like, and I feel really bad, like, being direct with people. So like, I try to like, oh, thank you, and I'm like trying to go to the chair, trying to like throw in the hints. She's not taking it, bro. She's
Oh
not,
no.
like, the guy, like, he has the string ready, he's getting it ready, and she's still like, hold on, I'm gonna FaceTime my friend. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm in that chair, and she goes, oh, by the way, like, my friend is also very funny, she has a joke for you. I was like,
No.
okay,
No.
yeah, yeah, bro. In the middle, and obviously, like, non-Armenians, they're not familiar with my comedy or character. Maybe one day they will be, but like, everybody is like looking like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is happening? Like, I was so, I was really like, I'm kind of like, I was embarrassed, but I was grateful, but I was also very embarrassed. And like, she FaceTime, she goes, oh my gosh, guess who I'm with? Which, not the first time where someone's like, oh, let me FaceTime so and so. It's happened before, but not like this. This was the crazy ass version because, like, again, I looked like shit. I didn't have a bra on, and this happens a lot. Which now I'm like, bro, I have to put on a bra every time I leave the house. There's no fucking way that I could. Because one time I was like at sorry.
Oh. I'm, I'm like so comfortable for you right now. Oh my God, no sound. No, this is like I hear you. Hello? Okay, let's restart. Restart.
Hi everyone, sorry about the connection. I don't know, it just went out. I'm gonna wait for Andy to come back in. We're continuing with the questions that we've received. If you missed it, you guys can go back and watch our live before this. And here we go. Let's see. There we go.
Yeah.
Yes. Finally, sorry about that, dude. My shit went out. It was so weird.
It's Mark Zuckerberg's fault. Fuck you,
I
Zuckerberg.
swear. That dude, he's an alien, bro. Like him, Jeff Bezos.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Elon Musk. Who else?
Yeah, the Theranos chick who's like this, the blonde girl. She's actually one of the craziest people I've ever seen.
Right? Sorry,
Like,
what were did we finish somebody said finish the story, but like I remember finishing it. I don't know. Did I go out before I finished the story?
I don't know. I guess just like do the very ending of it and then we'll move on to.
Okay, yeah. The very ending of it is like, she just she FaceTimed her friend, and her friend was like, oh, hi, like she was really surprised it was Mary. And then the friend was like, Equality Armenia, I'm just trying to post this again. The friend was like, oh, tell Mary that one joke that you had. Remember you told me that one joke? And the lady was like, her friend was kind of like weirded out a little bit. Like, I'm sure like she wasn't expecting to like FaceTime with me that day. That was really weird,
Yeah.
But Mary, tell me where you got I got it from Ada the Rat. I rep Ada the Rat all the way. So this is where I got my necklace from. Thank you. The same person that I collabed with for the Vartush shirts. And you can only get Vartush merch at Ada the Rat. But anyways, what's the other, is there more questions, or we can take questions, I think?
Yeah, there's a couple more, but you guys throw some up here if you have any, and we can answer those. And then, yeah, and then we'll just do that. Okay, celebrity crush. People want to know that for some reason. This is a Twitter question, so.
I don't know. I don't know. What's your celebrity crush?
My OG one when I was like.
Oh, that's what we're doing? We're doing OG?
Oh, I have like an OG and then like a current one.
Okay.
My OG one when I was going through puberty and is still to this day Ryan Felipe.
Okay.
Yeah, because just so many feelings.
Mm-hmm.
My current celeb crush is kind of a tie between Chris Evans, Henry Cavill, and Michael B. Jordan. Basically, if you play a superhero, I'm like DTF, I guess. I'm basic.
Right.
I'd like to think I'm a little more interesting, but no, basic. Yeah. Just basic.
Yeah. My OG one when I remember Casper? The movie Casper with Christina Ricci, and then at the very end, Devon Sawa.
Devon Sawa. Oh, you like 90s guys.
Yes, Devon Sawa was my shit. I was like, oh my god. Like
he had the part as well.
Yeah, he did.
With the blonde hair.
He did. And I also really I was more of a Backstreet Boy than an NSYNC person, to tell you the truth. I didn't like
too. I am too.
Yeah. And turns out my instincts were right. Fuck Justin Timberlake. No.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah. No, but I like Backstreet Boys, and I remember liking Brian from Backstreet Boys.
The
Brian
redheaded
something? No, I don't know. Brian was he was a little bit shorter. He was blonde. He was Kevin Richardson's cousin. I forget his last name. Brian something. I don't know. But it was him. Current crush? Honest, I don't have one.
Devon Sawa again.
Devon Sawa, I guess. Yeah. No, I don't know, dude. Because a lot of times, like, I guess I just automatically think I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, they're way out of my league. Like, I don't even, like, go into, like, crush mode, right? But I don't know, dude. Honestly, yeah, I don't know if I have any current crushes. I have a crush on, stable guys that have like a 401k. Like I have a
Oh my
crush
God.
on them.
If you have a healthy 401k, I will throw down.
Right?
Like, at this point, I'm like, I don't care about your car. I don't even care about abs. Like, fuck abs. It means you're starving. Like, I'm
Right.
not 401k. And if you own a condo, that's cool. But if you have a condo and possibly a vacation place, I don't even care where it is. It could be in Fresno. I'm like, let's go, man. Like, let's.
Yes. Someone actually said Idris Elba. Yes.
That's
He
my mom's
was,
crush, though, so I can't go there.
dude, I had a crush on him, but then like he got married, so I was like, oh, I should know my place now. But I don't, I don't really, I'm just like, bro, like, are you stable? Like, are you mentally healthy? Like, do you go to
Yeah,
therapy? Like, do you have like a passion? Like, what's up? Like those are my
yeah.
crushes, you know?
All right. Andy's my crush right now. Oh, thank you, Armin and that cat. Who has the crush, Armin or that cat? That's what I want to know. I'm intrigued on who that is. Do you guys have any
I
they are
have, there's this question,
oh
but like it's getting cut off and I can't see the rest of it.
yeah, I'm a straight, maybe cisgender female. I always get backlash from my family for supporting LGBT causes.
Range, and then it gets cut off, and I don't know how to check. Bro, see, we're not.
Truth, peace, spooky things.
Can
Send
you
them.
like ask your question? Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't see the rest of this. Rahman, we don't write essays. We just ask the question. What
What
is
is
cisgender?
it means I might be getting this wrong, so please correct me. It's like you're born with a gender that you're assigned at birth, right? Like is that cisgender?
I think yes,
Okay.
yes.
If I'm
Oh,
wrong,
I better navigate. How can I better navigate these conversations? That person asked. Okay.
oh, so you get back. It's a straight cisgender woman, I think, and
Yes.
gets flash for talking about these things. Better navigate these conversations. You know what? This is like a really weird thing to say, but the less emotion in it, the less emotional people get, which I know doesn't make sense. But if you talk about it more like matter of factly, like, well, and also asking questions of the other person, like, why do you feel that way?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think something's wrong with gay people? What do you think? Why do you feel this way? Like asking them, because usually, and I learned that from, I was watching a YouTube video with this guy who used to be in the KKK.
Mm-hmm.
And he left, and now he has spent his life getting other people out of the KKK, out of skinhead groups. And he said, I never go at them with like, "You're wrong," because people tend to shut down. And he goes at them and he's like, so why do you feel that way? Why is this the reason why you're saying that? And usually when you ask people questions, it forces them to think about it, and they kind of psychologically with themselves go like, because the thing is, like, you would think they've thought about it. A lot of people don't think about,
Yep.
why
Why
they
they think that way.
like, well, that's what I've been told, or that's what society's told me. So asking questions and making it as less emotional and more like, you know, well, why do you feel that way? And what is your opinion? And, this is why I feel that way. And, that tends
Yeah.
to kind of alleviate a lot of the tension, I find.
Yeah. I guess like that's definitely something that's great advice, and I'm gonna try to take your advice on that to like not bring emotion into it, because like
It's
I
hard.
do get, yeah, I do get pretty emotional when I'm talking about it, especially when I'm expecting my like people to like my relatives to be tolerant. I'm just like, yo, I'm expecting a lot more from you. Like, why are you this way? Like I was having conversations like last year with the BLM movement and everything that was going on around that. I was having conversations with a family member, and I was trying to explain like systematic racism to them, and they were like so like, oh no, that doesn't exist. And I'm just like, bro, I thought you were good. Like, what the fuck? Like, I had to deal with that meant like thing, like, oh shit, this person is not, you know, that I make him out to be, or maybe I put him on a pedestal as someone that like I really look up to, whatever the, you know, case may be. Mary, are you queer? I'm not. I'm an ally. I think someone else also answered it as well. But let me see if there are other questions. I'm trying to think if I have any more questions for you. I'm sorry if you answered this right. You haven't been to Armenia?
No, I was supposed to go last year.
Yes, you answered it. Sorry about that. My bad.
No, it's okay.
Are you gonna go though in the future? Do you think you'll make it out there?
I will go. My fear is not to the point that I'm not gonna go. I would have to go with people or a group that I feel. Here's my fear is, I'll tell you guys a story. So, in LA about 2 years ago, there was a hate crime committed in WeHo. And WeHo, gay mecca of LA, you would think like, yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. And there was a guy walking down the street and a car pulled over. They got out of the car. It was a gay guy, but like, how do you assume somebody's gay? Whatever. And they beat it out of him. The police arrested them eventually. They had to do an investigation. It was 3 Armenian dudes from Glendale. So if that shit can happen like next door to me, like it's very close. Like my fear is like some shit going down in Armenia, and like I might not trust the police to handle shit the same way. That's just me being real. Like that's like my fear, because I am very vocal and open on social media, and like I don't know what's gonna happen, kind of thing. So I'm not expecting it, just in the back of my head, kind of thing.
Damn, for sure. That's like that's a good point, and I would hope that like I don't know. I would hope that the cops over there would be doing the right thing, but I'm hoping, but I really don't, see it. Somebody's asking, what do you think is a good point to make to our elders in our cultures in defense of accepting our LGBT youth, since they take it such a threat to their values?
I would say it's tough. But I think what I always try to say to people is God doesn't make mistakes. God makes you the way you are. And that's what I always try to say, to people. And, I think this has been a really good opportunity for a conversation, because so many queer Armenians have done a lot to raise money for Armenia during the war this past fall. And I think it's forced us all to really talk about things and have conversations and be open about it. And for people to take that money and then want to just be like, I think it's time for people to really talk about it. Because look, these are people, like 99.9% of queer Armenians, they like being Armenian. They want to be accepted. They want to be in the community. They want to, like, I'm going to get married one day. But if I do, I want, and I'm not going to have a full-on Armenian wedding. That's just not me. But, like, I want Armenian traditions in it. I want my culture to show. Totally. I would hope that everybody I love shows up, and to dismiss somebody just based on that is so, I get that they're from a different culture, but, like, no one's trying to hurt anybody. They're just trying to be who they are, and look, life is fucked up. We're all just trying to get through it. And if you can find love and find some peace, then that's great. And let's just try to spread more love and peace. That's all I can say. I don't know. Totally.
I agree. And I remember in Silver Lake, it's called Casa del Campo. It's a Mexican restaurant, and they do like drag shows there, or they used to before COVID. And they usually have a rainbow flag, but during the war, they put up the Armenian flag as well. And I was like, oh my, like, that's such an amazing, like, just showing that they really, like, they care, And I thought about that too. Like, this is like an example that I would bring up to elders as well. Like, well, listen, look, the LGBTQ community, like they had our back, like they were very supportive. They raised money. Like, you know, how do you, I would put this in front of them and be like, yeah, exactly. This is what's going on. Like, they supported us. Shouldn't you support them? Like, in that sense. Or,
Yeah.
you know, again, I can't really fully answer that question because I'm not in the community like that. I would much rather, like, you know, you find that, but like you answer that rather than me.
I'll add just really quickly. I'd also add, like, look, I think we're in a, this is kind of one of the tragedies of it. We as a community are in a very unique position to be the most empathetic people possible.
Yeah.
Because people have been trying to kill us, like the Jews, forever.
Right.
And the fact that too many of us are choosing not the empathetic position and choosing to be like, we have been picked on, we've been beaten up, we've been bullied, we've been murdered, we've been, victimized. For us to then, for too many of us to then turn around and say, well, now we're going to do it back to somebody else. That's shameful. We are in a unique position to be more empathetic and accepting and fucking brave and fierce for so many people. Let's choose that, because we can choose to be the community that are fucking badasses that stand up and say fuck this for everybody. And we already are, because I was at the BLM Glendale March. The Armenian church was there, by the way. The fucking all y'all were there handing out water bottles. They were standing with them. So we are in that position. We can choose that. We can choose that.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I was actually there as well. And I do remember the Armenian church being there. And I remember hearing the Armenian priest speak on this. However, I also remember seeing a couple of fucking characters that I've seen online talking shit about the BLM movement there, literally walking around without a mask, with their phones, with their fucking pleather vest. Bitch ass hoe.
For Armenia, it's gotta be real leather, guys. Come on.
Right? And like, they're just walking around, just like with their phone on everybody and just like recording people in case something happened or whatever. But I remember that 100%, and it really sucks. And you would think too, like, yeah, a lot of people would, like, in our community would have sympathy towards that. And I try to bring that up with people that argue about this, and they're like, "Make udi shank, we're different, you know, we didn't, like, we went through this X." They don't see it like that sometimes, dude. They just don't see it like that. But again, that's not to say, like, give up, throw your hands up and just give up trying to talk to your family about this, or not laughing at homophobic or, queerphobic remarks and jokes and things like that. I think, like, that's a good start, like, to kind of, like, put an end to that as much as possible. As a Christian, I think it's our duty to show love and support to our LGBTQ plus members. God is love, and that's the main message we need to live by. I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that 100%.
Their comment, it's also that Armenian culture is so patriarchal. That's very true. Let me just say this. I have a huge problem, and I'm sure a lot of people do. We hold women in our community, especially mothers, on such a high level with our words and with our actions. We smack them down. That is so fucking bullshit. I'm so over it. If you're going to hold women up and say Armenian women, like our mothers, our wives, our sisters, so protective. If you're so protective of them, you have to be protective of all the girls, all the women.
They're not gonna do that.
Yeah, they could. Hey.
They could, but they're not going to do that shit. And I know exactly what you're talking about. They want to, like, perceive, like, oh, their sister is pure. Okay, that's another thing. Purity. Oh my God.
No.
So fucking stupid. Like, that's another thing that I do a lot of jokes on, because it's so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know if I should put this page on blast or not. Maybe, I don't know. Right? Like, it's a pretty popular page where, like, everybody's always, but I've had them blocked, and they've had me blocked for years. okay? Because they put out this, like, it was like a joke or whatever, and like, you know how like you search for something on like Google Maps and it says not found, search or not found, whatever, and one of the things that they were looking for was makur achchik, and it said not found, and I was just like, are you fucking serious? So I did a rebuttal to that back then, and I tagged them, and I was like looking for Garkintara, and I didn't, you know, it says results not found or whatever. It, like, from that point on, like, they posted so much like bullshit ass fucking things, and again, I don't give a fuck to like give them clout on my page. That's why, like, I don't name certain people, I don't talk about certain people. I don't want to give them that. Fuck them, you know. And if you enjoy their content, you are gonna find out on your own what they really are. And if at this point you can't really recognize who is aligned with some of your like morals, then you know what, maybe question yourself. I don't know what to tell you, but it'll come to that point where you see a certain page that they post something racist or sexist or homophobic, and that's another way. I feel like if you see a popular page post something homophobic, say something, comment something.
Please do. Yeah.
Because that's what I did too. Like back then, like when this shit was not popular to do, I did that shit and I stood up to them and I was like, you're fucked up. You shouldn't be talking about this shit.
Yeah.
But, you know, of course, whatever. I'm just a fat feminist. That's what they used to fucking say about me. She's just an angry fat feminist who hasn't been laid. Bitch ass.
Yeah. But... I'm a Gyot Bozitra Persian. I'm apparently I'm a Bond villain. I'm the next Bond villain, you guys. I'm gonna be whoever the next Bond is. It's Cutie Pie's the next Bond villain. She's not Armenian. She's an Israeli agent.
Also, I'm I'm trying to break up the fabric of the Armenian family fabric of the Armenian family or some shit. Like, bro, I'm sorry I opened your wife's eyes up to this patriarchal bullshit. Sorry, bro. Yeah. My bad, dog. Like, I don't know what the fuck to tell you, bro.
I also love that they assume us and our dumb shit on Instagram is gonna, like, destroy a family. I'm like, who do you think we are? Like, you think we're, like, a Marvel villain? Like, we're gonna, like, change the world?
Right? Also, like, I love how, like, you know, they think, like, we're gonna... if we destroyed your family...
like, yeah.
Maybe it wasn't that strong to begin with. Like, look into that. Fuck that shit. Fear is what causes hate.
Yeah, fear.
100%.
All the way. Yeah.
100%. Well, look, Andy, this has been great, and I could fucking go on and on talking about this. I'm so happy that we did this talk. And I can't wait to make more videos with you and do more fun shit. And hopefully when things do go back to normal, we could do a live show and we can, you know, have something awesome like that. You know, that would be really fun. But I think it is our time to go. Can you remove the question box, please? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry.
I don't see the box.
I don't see a question box either. Bro, I'm old. Do you see this? Like, no matter how much, like, I put it in the middle, I still don't know things. But again, thank you so much for your time, Andy. Thank you for answering some of these questions and, like, shedding some light on this. If anything else comes up that I can, like, post or whatever, like, please let me know. Again, tell us about the show you're in that's on Friday so people can go.
Oh, yeah. So I'm with a burlesque company here in LA. It's called Caburlesque. So it's like parody musical theater burlesque. We're doing a spoof of reality dating shows. So we're spoofing Love Island, The Bachelor, Bachelorette.
Nice.
Last weekend for Valentine's Day and sold out. So we're adding an extra show.
Nice.
It's edited like a movie. It's very well done. Our editor has a Netflix show, so he's legit as fuck.
Sweet.
He's also an incredible drag queen, so come watch the show.
Yes.
Cutie Pie's in the show as a contestant on the dating show. And I have a song that is the sequel to Hookah Girls. So if you guys want to see it, this is where to watch it. The link is in my bio, called Virtual Love.
Yes. Thank you so much. Virtual Love. I want to see that shit.
It's Friday, 7:30.
Friday, 7:30.
7:30 LA time, yeah.
Perfect. And the link is in your bio.
Link in the bio, yeah.
Perfect. Please go to his page. The link is in his bio, so you can check it out. It's on Friday, 7:30. Also, the two accounts that I have tagged, Pink Armenia and Equality Armenia. If you would like to donate, the links are in their profile, and you can go through their page and profile. They don't have the button thing. Hopefully when they get the button, we can do another live and we could utilize the button for them. So thank you again so much, Andy. This was really fun. Sorry about the technical issues that we were having earlier. And have an amazing night. Thank you all who joined us. This was really fun. Check out Pink Armenia, Equality Armenia, and join us again if we do a live.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.